So welcome to semifinals.
Hello, everyone.
Can't believe it. You know, it seems like we started just a couple of hours ago. It's almost 11.
Yeah.
And here we go, semifinals. We have Fabian Sjöblom. We've had it on the coverage. That's the mono blue. It was quite interesting game with mono red. Now Fabian will be facing, similar deck we saw in previous round, but now piloted by Dawid Kryński. And
It's not normal that the Dreadnought deck plays perks.
yeah, this is more focused on like the Parallax Titan. He plays only like 2 Dreadnoughts.
Oh, I see.
And he will be facing this deck, similar what we've seen. I think Pavel was not playing Weathered Wayfarer, if I'm not mistaken. I can actually check it. But I think it will be interesting for sure. I think. The thing is this: the mono blue deck does not have really good ways how to remove creatures.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Dawid can put Fabian under some pressure. He can seal the game with like something like Armageddon. He can get extra lands with like Wayfarer and such. Obviously, Mox Diamond, Sylvan Library. We saw how powerful it is, especially if you have a turn 1, which Pavel had, I think, in 5 games in a row, as somebody pointed out in the chat. So that's probably how you do it to get to the semifinals. But I don't think Dawid has a good way how to stop like Parallax Tide, stifle.
Mm-hmm.
So his lands can be like kind of easily destroyed. But
It's gonna be an interesting matchup. I can definitely see it going both ways, and it's gonna really depend on the player's draws.
What's quite interesting, I'm not sure if it's standard, that Dawid has 4 Armageddon. That's quite a lot, I think. So we will see how this goes. Interesting thing for Fabian.
He even has Cataclysm in the sideboard, right? So he can even.
And he does have Cataclysm. Oh no, yeah. Well, normally I think they play less Armageddon, but here it's 4. So we will see how that goes. I think, obviously, Dawid's deck is very centered around lands, and Fabian can deal with that. On the other hand, if Dawid has some kind of a real like pressure, like Sylvan Library into like Elephant, I think maybe Fabian will have problems stopping that. Like, I think Fabian will have to win through Dreadnought. He only has 1 in main deck. Or completely like locking the game. Also, Standstill doesn't seem very exciting for Fabian because like Dawid, if he could play green Standstill, he would play it, right? Because he has so much going on in terms of lands. He has 2 Treetop Village, 2 Rishadan Port. He has 4 Wasteland. And if he gets Weather Wayfarer into play, he can get any land in his deck. And here we go, Mox Diamond again.
He might get the 5 though.
Oh.
So that doesn't really make the Mox.
So maybe
great. So
Fabian, he has like 4 Chain of Vapor. Do you think what would you do if you had Chain of Vapor? You just snap.
I would do it. Yeah.
You snap, return it. Okay. Oh yeah.
Snap called it. Yeah, Dawid really needs something like a Sim Library. Otherwise, this game is gonna be pretty one-sided. Doesn't seem like he have it. If he had it, he would have played it last turn. So
yes, I think so. But I think what can happen, like what would be like a bad decision in my opinion, if Fabian play like Standstill, right? Mm-hmm. Nothing is on the board. I have 2 mana. I have Standstill. That sounds like I cast it. Absolutely not. That would give Dawid a chance to get back into the game because Dawid would not play a spell for next like 7 turns.
Right.
He would just be drawing. And I wouldn't be surprised. I didn't count it, but I wouldn't be surprised if Dawid has more lands, in Mox Diamond deck than Fabian.
One thing going for Dawid is that the Fabian's deck doesn't really have a fast clock, so there's some hope for him that he will be able to draw out of it. But
yes, like Fabian's win con really is for Mishra's Factory and 3 Fairy Conclaves, so it's 7 man lands, and I guess he hopes to win through that, especially after he destroys 5 of opponent's lands via Tide.
there are actually so many mono blue decks in Premodern. You have like the Dreadnought deck, you have this Tide Control, you have Stasis.
Yes. What's interesting, like Fabian, he went for Standstill version instead of like Gush, because obviously if you have 14 islands, it seems like Gush is a good card. So Fabian is maybe. Oh yeah, I knew it that he has fiery conclave because the hesitation. Should I blow his Should I blow his wasteland? But the
Why
thing
do you
is,
think he didn't do it?
because maybe felt he wants to be casting something like Impulse or maybe Mana Leak he's holding in hand. So
Yeah, but like David can always wasteland the wasteland
yes,
anyway.
he can, but you can
So
always let your opponent make a display.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so. And I think David probably doesn't have too much going on. He has like what, five cards? It's not too bad. I thought he's even worse off. But one of them is Mox Diamond. We must not forget that.
Yeah.
And Fabian just needs like, just want to say, yeah, you want your land drops. That's like what matters.
There's a small glimpse of hope for David. Blue and there's
bigger
wasteland.
glimpse. Impulse. Yeah.
That's gonna find a land for sure.
Famous last words. I always tell people to shuffle their deck. Because that's what the impulse says.
Oh, really?
They're always confused. No, it's errata. It has errata. You don't shuffle
Anymore.
but
Okay.
you
The
can
cards says
to
that.
shuffle your deck. Some people are confused because many people have never read thus far.
It actually matters, right? Like the difference between the cards being on bottom.
Of
and
course.
not.
Absolutely. It all makes most sense that you don't shuffle, but that's originally how it was. Then it got errata. I think it's how they intended it, like that you don't shuffle, but then
Well,
it
if
got
they
there.
intended to not shuffle, then they wouldn't write shuffle on it.
I think they intended many things, and the result was completely
It's
different. so-
explicitly written there, shuffle.
Yes. But how many times you said something, and you meant something
Like every
completely
day,
different?
every minute. Yeah.
Remember your girlfriends. Yes.
Don't say that on stream.
Oh, sorry. Girlfriend, just one. Counterspell. Yeah, I think, well, we'll see. I mean, it seems that Fabian is...
That's like one thing that I don't really like about Premodern is that you like often have these stumbles and the games are just like super weird. Like people just don't have lands or they're just not really doing anything. I don't know. Like
No, I think it's part of the game. I think it's actually. I think this is a not uninteresting game at all. It seemed like David mulliganing down to 5. You said. Now he's like trying to find a way back into the game. Interesting that he casted Mox Diamond. That's quite interesting. I'm sure maybe he needs it for like a second green or what, but I would probably wait for it. What is this? Armageddon.
Armageddon. Probably, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we saw this from like turn 2 that he had it when he didn't waste. But I mean, that's like a real. That's always like contact with. It's a real reality check. It's like, do you have a counter, or you just you're kind of dead.
So how is Fabian gonna progress to like actually get ahead here?
I think he needs more lands, and eventually he needs to destroy. He will try to destroy all his opponent's lands.
Oh, factor.
Is this
friction.
factor fiction? Factor
That's-
fiction. Cool.
It's really strong.
There is tight. I mean, here like you take 3 cards probably. I feel like I think he is kind of low on resources, Fabian. But he would like to get, I think, Parallax tight, because if you, we will see how the piles will look like. But of course, the Weather of the Wayfarer, like Fabian doesn't really have an answer for it. He can only like bounce it, so that can get him lands over a course of several turns. Okay, he took that. So land into Parallax Tide Chain of Vapor. No, okay. So he does have it.
So can you explain how does Parallax Tide work with Chain of Vapor?
Oh yeah, it's very very easy. Similar, it's sometimes with Stifle it's even better. Basically, with Parallax Tide, you put it into play and it comes with 5 counters. Then you remove like all 5 counters and target 5 different lands. You keep priority, You can target whatever. You keep priority, and in response, you return with Chain of Vapor to your hand. Then trigger goes on the stack that when Peroxide leaves play, you return lands, but there are no lands to be returned. Then it comes into your hand, and then you exile all his lands. So that's like permanent destruction of lands, and you still keep Peroxide for later use.
Not only that, but you also get to trigger the Chain of Vapor for your opponent as well, right? Because is that how it works?
No, you're targeting yours. You can, in response, sacrifice your non-land permanent and target one of his things.
Oh, right. I thought it works differently. Okay, sure.
So now you can't just wait for...
There's a big Terrageddon.
Yes.
Isn't that like a huge problem for the mono blue deck? Because he already used 2 Chain of Vapors.
Uh-huh.
So what is he gonna do about that?
I mean, he's going to...
I mean, that's good, but it doesn't stop a creature.
No, it does not.
I wonder how...
And Terrageddon is really tough, right? You can't be just like jumping it or doing anything like that. There's another version of this that you can... oh, that's super cool. You will untap. Now watch this.
Oh.
He targets all 3 lands, then he returns it, and now he'll get 2 untapped lands.
And he gets to bounce the Terrageddon as well.
That's so good.
Bam!
It seems like Fabian played this before.
Yeah, that's kind of what I meant when I said that. Yeah.
I mean, in Terry, because before I was thinking about before there was Terra, but I was thinking he will bounce the Mox, right? Because that's I think that's how Fabian's deck can win. Something like this.
He probably wouldn't have used those Chain of Vapors so aggressively if he didn't have the third one, maybe. So
potentially. Now,
it's not like you're like super lucky.
It's interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Playing that standstill is a little suspicious.
It can backfire for sure because standstill is kind of really random. Like
it kind of means that if your Fairy Conclave gets like Wasteland or whatever, you just got Dawid back into the game.
Dawid used already like 2 Wastelands, so there is less of a chance. But even Richard Pot is like enough for Dawid to stall. And we see that Fabian doesn't have like follow-up. Like he's kind of dependent. And I think that's why Standstill is very, very tricky card, that you don't know what's coming. Like and it's not like it will be decided in 3 turns. It's take like 6, 7, 8 turns.
His hand had to be really bad for him to do that. Oh, there's a second mainland that's gonna be pretty good.
Maybe he didn't have any like follow-up. But now he will have like a counter spell backup. Yeah, he's going to attack. I would really like for him tapping differently, like having 2 islands untapped, so you're sure you can cast that mana leak or what. But it's probably not so relevant now.
I mean, that would require Dawid to have Wasteland and then spell to play.
I understand that, but I mean, generally it's good.
Right.
I feel like it's good to have these like manners. I don't know, like this technicality of your play that you always do it like that. Okay. So, Mox Diamonds triggering a standstill. I think Fabian has probably about 8 cards in hand now. I guess he's feeling pretty good. Standstill? No. Oh!
Is that
Powder Keg? He's going to destroy the Mox Diamonds.
Do you think that's good, Thomas?
I even forgot that he has the card.
He has 2 of them.
He has 3 of them.
Oh, 3?
Actually, he has 3 of them. Yeah, that must feel terrible. I'm not sure. Are deck lists open? No, they are not. They are not. Okay, I was asking technical stuff. So Dawid did not even have to know that there is like Powder Cake main deck.
Right.
So he felt like Mox Diamond. That's like safe.
What is the card that Fabian just played?
Best card in the format, Phyrexian Furnace. Yes, one of.
Is that the thing that gains life?
It's the thing that does everything. It draws cards.
Is that a remove graveyard?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
He didn't even tap it. Oh no, he's just going.
It's like the old version of Relic of Progenitus, basically, right? Kind of.
It's more like Scrabbling Claws. You know Scrabbling Claws?
Yeah, I know.
So this removes bottom card. Like Scrabbling Claws can remove any card, and Relic removes both graveyards. Ooh, Swords to Clashers. So it doesn't really matter, I guess. Very cool. Interesting that he went for the Fiery Conclave. Maybe he thinks he can block Mishra, but Mishra is easier to activate.
Yep, the one extra mana can matter a lot.
Yes, I agree. But again, Fabian is passing with untapped.
I don't think it really like matters at this point.
Yes, non-basic land. I mean, okay, that's kind of.
Is that a Dust Bowl?
It's also a pretty good card. Not gonna lie.
Ah man, I thought we were watching a land destruction deck the last round, but
There's another sort of pressures.
if you had a counter, would you counter this? Probably not, right?
Probably not. But
Then you're risking that the other Mylang gets wastelanded and then the game.
honestly, what I would do, I would probably destroy the Sylvan, the Trito village with that bow, and attack with maybe just Mishra or something.
Yeah, that seems better.
Because like you want to limit his possibilities. Like you don't want him to cast like Sylvan Library now, so you don't want to like feel like you have to counter or anything like that. But Dawid is on 7 lives, and yeah, of course, like if Fabian is drawing like a god. But see, for example, this card would not be in the picture now. Wow, that's pretty good, isn't it? Okay. I like it. I mean, very convincing from Fabian all this game. It seemed like even we had it like I think we had it in like round 2 or round 3, and I have to say that great. I have to say that he played. We felt that he played like these Chain of Vapors very aggressively. They like almost we felt he like throwing away cards, but it really seems that he knows what he's doing, and I always like it. I like when people know what they're doing.
Depends. If they're my opponents, then it's not so good. But
yeah, but I mean, at least you can respect them. Like if you lose, you don't feel that bad.
That's true. Yeah, losing to someone who plays horrible feels real bad. Like you just get like mana screwed, and
you don't even have to go mana screwed. He can just draw like kind of everything, right? But if you lose to player like for example Philip, with his Storm. He was so clinical. He could be like surgeon. You know, he was just like he knew exactly what he was doing. So I like that a lot. So let's see deck lists. So what do we have here? It seems to me that you might want to bring you probably want to bring Disenchant as Dawid, and that's it.
Does that actually work against the Parallax Tide?
It does. No, it depends. Not really.
Not really, right?
No, it doesn't really work.
So, like, I'm wondering if it's actually any good.
The thing is that, yeah, maybe there's no point.
It can also kill Mishra's Factory.
The thing is that it kills Mishra's Factory. It can kill like Powder Keg, and also they don't always, now they have Phyrexian Dreadnought, which maybe Dawid does not know about.
It's probably good enough.
Another thing is that they don't always have it, right? Sometimes they play Parallax Tide, remove your lands. And when they when they can't remove the counter, they have to sacrifice Parallax Tide. Then there's a trigger goes on the stack that returns his lands, and you can stifle it. That's kind of a way how you can do it when you're just on 4 mana. You just play 4 mana. That's like one of the best ways how Parallax Tide works because you can just play it on 4, remove his lands. You don't have to like have any setup. You just play the single card, and like in 1 or 2 turns you find stifle or you already have it in a hand. So that's the way. And if we look at Fabian's deck list. Oh, there's a lot. Well, lot. There are 3 Anal. Like I'm sure you want Anal, and I think you want Teferi's Response, and possibly another Powder Keg. Yeah. Like the Keg seemed great. It can kill Mungoose. It can kill Mox Diamond. So I think something along those lines. Like Teferi's Response seems really good, because especially against Risha Lampard when he doesn't want to hurt you too much. He just wants to tap your land. And what are you going to do? You destroy his land and you draw 2 cards. It's 3 for 1. It's pretty good. Yeah. And it's only for 2 mana. So I think that's what Fabian is bringing. I'm thinking what he wants to cut. I guess I would probably cut Standstill. I mean, it kind of won him the game, but I don't think you can really afford to play standstill in this matchup. Because I think if Dawid they could play standstill, he would play it. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I don't really think standstill is great in this matchup for sure. Let's see. What would you bring in though?
What I would bring in, I just said it, annul and if there is a response, possibly another powder keg. I would not bring in like Dreadnought because my opponent has swords and they also they will probably bring some number of like disenchant effects.
Right.
Wayfarer. I actually love the card.
Sorry, I was just like mentally away for 10 seconds and I didn't hear you say that, so I apologize.
That's fine. It was like a first like deck I played in Legacy with Wayfarer many years ago, and it was with Phantom Seer, which has like a gush effect, so you could return 2 islands to your hand, and this could always search. It was very cool.
One library.
Now Force Spike, come on, show us. I feel like he really needs that Force Spike, but I'm afraid if he had Force Spike, he would have played it, and. Now he's probably thinking about Vapor, Chain of Vapor, and I think if he doesn't have Chain of Vapor, he probably needs to return the Sylvan Library and then try to counter it, because Sylvan Library is just, yeah, that's what he's doing. Feels bad, but on the other hand, his mana...
It is a 0-for-1, but if you let him have it, he's gonna generate card advantage anyway, so...
Yeah, it would just would get too strong. But that Wayfarer also gives a weird dynamic. It's like a teeny weeny like Lantex, but it can search for non-basics.
Right.
It's very strong.
Yeah, it's a really weird card because sometimes it's just 1/1 and it's like really weak, but sometimes it's just incredible. Especially if you draw Mox, then it just really goes off.
I think probably what Fabian wants to get is something like Powder Keg. That seems like a decent card. But the problem is that now, like, I guess Dawid is passing. Possibly he's passing, like, right, this impulse is end of turn.
What do you think about playing the Mongoose over the library? He still has the Wayfarer up, but he can still, like, if Fabian plays a third lane, he can just use Wayfarer.
Yeah, I just was about to say it. I like it a lot because now we know that Fabian needs to have like at least 4 lands in play to do something really, and like Dawid is stopping him from it. It's like, okay, you play land, I get 2 lands because he's getting 1 land now, and then in his turn before he plays land, and the land he's maybe playing is fetch land, so he will get another land afterwards because you can fetch and in response search. So it's kind of Fabian is a little bit in a pickle. I think he really wants to play land, but he might feel that he can't afford it.
Yeah, this is rough for him. The only answer he really has is the powder keg, which he probably doesn't have, right?
Nice. Also, the question is whether you want to tap out. Oh, he played the land.
Also, even if he has the powder keg, Dawid can have an answer in like a naturalize or something.
Exactly. Now, the possibility was as well for Fabian just to pass. You know, sometimes I feel sometimes people like don't do that enough because what is the threat here? Like 1/1 is attacking you, and the other one is like waiting. I think you can take a few hits like that.
Yeah, this is gonna be gonna be a 3-for-1 at least here. Well, 3-for-0.
It's quite incredible, and especially searching that Rishadan port. That means like you will play land as Dawid. And your opponent will be on 2 lands again, and you can. And if he plays another one, you get. Yeah. Now you probably search again. And anytime you draw Mox Diamond, you obviously break the parity, you know, in the lands, and you'll be. Oh, why wouldn't you search? What was the reason not to search with Wayfarer?
That's one thing. The other thing is that, as you said, he could have searched for fetch land as well. And really like,
but I mean, I respect that Dawid wants to have Rishadan port in play and be and tapping the lands because next turn he could hit like 4th land and get like the Parallax Tide. I respect that, but I don't understand why he didn't search for it before.
Yeah, that was pretty loose. I think he just didn't realize that maybe.
Maybe he has 7 cards in hand. But even that, like, you just find random land and discard it. You have it
Maybe,
in the
maybe he
graveyard.
thinks that Fabian will play land for sure, and he just didn't want to discard. Like that's the only thing I can think of. But I think he has 6 cards, so
Okay.
there is nothing like a mana tide or anything he would have hold for that 1 mana. So yeah, that was kind of loose probably.
Yes, and what's also kind of funny that you can always play fetch land. You could get fetch land and play fetch land now, and when your opponent plays the 4th land, you just fetch and you can search again, right? So, oh no, he's attacking. Really like Wayfarer. What a beautiful card. Yes, now he plays fetch land. Okay, interesting. Now we get Sylvan Library. He has the counter spell prepared. We knew that.
I'm not even sure it was right to play it into the open mana. Like
you could always like tap. Of course, now we have to recognize like David's plan is I don't want Fabian to ever have 4 mana, so he's playing accordingly, right? He could force like the Sylvan Library, like in attack step you tap one of his lands and then you can get it through. But the possibility that your opponent plays.
That's not what I meant. I meant that I wouldn't play it at all.
Okay. Fair.
Maybe he has a second copy or something.
Yes. Because now if Fabian would get Parallax Tide and remove all his lands, that would be just probably a bit too painful. Okay. Also interesting. Standstill. Yes. Not sure about that. The good thing is that it's sometimes, and we talked about it before, that like Standstill is such an interesting card, and maybe David will just not play anything. He will be like tapping Mishra with Rishadan Port and just attacking for 1 with Mungus. And now it really depends. It's like on the top 5 cards of your library. What are you going to draw? Because if David is going to draw some like a land business spells. Cool. Okay. Then we have fetch land. Is he going to? Yeah, he's going to play. Okay. So that was kind of easy for Fabian. Getting 3 cards. And now he really can have like now probably that Parallax Tide, nothing will stop it. The only problem I see that possibly David can have like Armageddon, and that would seal the game, but he doesn't. Okay, he's tapping. Like with Fabian, obviously you want to have Stifle. Now that's like what I was saying. Now you really want to have like Parallax Tide with Stifle, and you can kill all 5 lands. No, 4 probably. It's just 4. Can't kill the fetch land. By the way, Peter, when you saw the deck list from top 8, is there anything that really caught your eye?
I didn't actually
would you like to play?
see all of them.
You can check it here. We have it all here. Don't say Storm from Philip.
Yeah, I'm not really a Storm guy. I don't know, the older I get, the more I want to just burn people. So I think I would just play burn. You know?
Yeah, we have 1 burn in the top 8. Two burns, but only 1 now, right? 1 was eliminated. 1 ran out of steam, out of fire.
I used to hate on all the burn players, and now I understand. Just 3-2, ball lightning, bam, bam.
I think that's the meme. That's the meme of like the Family Guy when they all sit in like these tuxedos. And it's like a mid-range player, mid-range player, control player, and combo player, and they look down on Meg. That's aggro player, and she's like, "Why do you think you're better than me?"
Is that an actual episode of Family Guy?
I don't know. It's a meme.
Oh,
But that's obviously like a screenshot from the show.
right.
When they all wear like tuxedo. And yeah, she's... Okay, Wasteland.
I mean, the aggro decks nowadays in like standards and stuff are actually probably the hardest. But yeah, I agree. Back in the day, aggro was probably the easiest deck to play.
But I remember growing up, like, control is so hard. But I remember when I play like aggro against control, and he just had like force spike into counterspell, into something, into Wrath of God, into like
Right.
draw 3 cards. I felt like, what's difficult about it? He just kills me. Okay, that's nice. Fact or fiction, that's always like some kind of fresh air. Is it end of turn?
I think that's kind of the story of every Magic player, that they were just losing to Wrath of God at the beginning.
Okay, now we don't really see it very well, but I think he's going to take the 3 cards, right? But there is Force Spike, which is kind of useless. Okay, he took it. Okay, so he has Force Spike, Island, and Mishra's Factory. Oh, he played it in response. I see. It's a bit risky. He's going to play another... Okay, another Mongoose. Faster than Cobra's Bite.
Man.
But by the way, do you know it's true that mongoose can hunt like cobra? That's really huge, and they are very tiny. You know, these animals, but they really can dodge like cobra's attack, and I've seen it a few times on some National Geographic, and it's kind of very cool. And they're like some kind of an animal pest, like in India, you know, running around on the streets. They're really tiny, and they have this reputation. I've seen it, like obviously not in real life, but it's interesting that it's like a hunter of snakes, and it does not have any resistance. When it gets bitten, it like dies.
Right.
That's it. But it doesn't. Okay. So how do you feel? Where we're at? What's happening here?
Yeah, nothing is really happening that much. The creatures are holded by these Mishra's factories. And yeah, people are just players are just trying to find some trump cards.
Yeah, he does have a lot, David. And I think like David can have. I don't see what he has. I think there's like Naturalize, Swords to Plowshares, and so he got mana. He'll probably activate Mishra, but yeah, I think it's a little bit falling apart for Fabian. Like slowly but surely, he's like losing those lands. I really wish David got that extra land there, like getting like extra wasteland in hand, like that. He wouldn't be sorry for that. And also, if you're in this kind of situation and he attacks and you want to do some things with your Mishras, he can always like post combat like Armageddon when you tap out because you don't have enough mana now. Richard Port is doing a lot of work in this game, so. Elephant.
That's actually quite good against this deck full of counters. It's just so weird to me that 3 mana 3/3 is a good card. It's just crazy nowadays. It's not even good in limited anymore.
Like 3 mana 3/3?
Yeah, it's not good in limited.
Yes.
I mean, it's playable, but yeah, this is gonna be really hard for Fabian to come back.
No, yeah, I'm afraid it's kind of we got.
But can you imagine that David had like 2 more lands that he would have searched with that Wayfire? The game wouldn't really be close, right?
Yeah. Imagine he plays another wasteland right now.
Right,
that he just searched before. Yeah, this is just so difficult. I'm really not sure what Fabian can have realistically. I think he feels like pressured into like exposing that Mishra, but I mean he even has like Richard on board. It's like nothing you can do about it. Also, this game is a little bit odd. I bet Fabian has some unknown in hand, and I think Dawid did not play anything, right? Or maybe like Summon Library was the previous game.
What do you think about the choice of keeping swords in against this deck? It does kill the manlands, which can be relevant.
Yeah, the question would be, what do you want to side out? And if you have enough things to side out, because we discussed that there's only like 2 disenchant, right? We agreed that only like 2 disenchant are like good enough to have it.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe
Right.
you just take out
You're just
something
gonna
else.
have to.
Yes. Maybe you take maybe some. Don't know. Disenchant. That's not idea.
So many removal spells for the factory. And it's not like the mono blue deck. It's really good at catching up. You know, when it's behind,
Yes.
it's really tough.
Yes. I mean, what's good about the mono blue deck? He has like impeccable mana, which is great. You just start island into island into island. Maybe it's really good. You can play also a lot of like non-basic lands. And I think it's going to concede. Yeah. So we will have a. I think that's good. Like having 3 games, semifinals. I think that's how it should be. But I feel like Fabian really wants to get like Parallax tight to get through. To get into position dominating position. Because other than that, and I have to say, like Wayfarer is like pain. It's real pain, Wayfarer, because just 1 mana, it gets under like a lot of the counters, and it's so insane. Like then Fabian can't really cast Standstill if Wayfarer is in the play. So yes, yeah. As I said before, I would like Dawid to maybe play. I'm not sure. I don't want to say more tightly, but I think he could have get at least 1 more land.
It's actually insane how good Wayfire is in this matchup, right? It gets under the counters. It's good against Standstill. It cannot really get removed by any.
And it kills 7 of his 8 win cons.
Yeah, it's actually crazy how good it is.
Yes, I like it a lot. I think with Wayfire it was a little bit complicated. Like in which shell you put it in, and how many lands that make sense to search you play. And if you see this deck, he has obviously 4 Wasteland. He has 2 Rishadan Port, but he can even search the Cycle Land. You search Cycle Land and you draw a card.
Right.
That's like pretty cool as well. And obviously searching Fetch Land is great. And Treetop Village, that's obviously stronger. Like Mishra and Treetop are 2 strongest manlands they ever printed. So yes. I would just like to know what they did. I would just like to know what Dawid trimmed for the disenchants, because everything seems good. I'm not sure. I would probably cut maybe some of the like Armageddon, maybe. But on the other hand, you're playing against deck that wants to kill you with manlands, and when he taps out and you Armageddon him, he just loses on the spot. I know, and Terrageddon seems a little bit weaker. But yeah, it's funny. Like I like how now people play 4/7 library. Like it was not obvious from the start that card is just not. It's kind of broken.
It didn't see play.
I didn't see much play. People play like 1 or 2, and now they just realize, well, if I have someone in library, it's less of a chance that I will lose something to have it in every turn.
That seems like a good card, yeah.
And also it works. If I'm not mistaken, I can. No, I think you can even 2 Sylvan libraries do something. Like you draw 3, you return 2, you fetch, and you can.
It says that from the cards that you've drawn this turn. So, for example, if you brainstorm before the library triggers, or draw cards in any other way, you can actually return with a trigger of the library the cards that you drawn from other cards.
Sounds very complicated. That's why brainstorm is banned.
You actually have to call a judge if you brainstorm an upkeep, and they have to like confirm that you're returning the cards that you actually drew from the brainstorm.
I see. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's why maybe I never do it. I just never brainstorm in draw step or up.
Well, it's not very likely that it's gonna be the right play anyway, so it usually doesn't happen. But that's how it actually works.
So Fabian probably wants to have something like force spike. Is it Wayfarer or Mox Diamond? Of course.
Of course he has it.
Of course he has it. Maybe Fabian, maybe you want to cast Annul.
What is he gonna play though? Oh, there it is. He has the perfect start. Not only he has the best card in the matchup, which is the Wayfarer, he even has the Mox to go with it. So that's gonna be really tough for Fabian. He really needs a powder keg here. Even if he has it, you know, the Wayfarer is still gonna go off kind of, and he can still have answers for it. So this is gonna be rough.
Yes, I'm wondering if Philip was playing against this version, like Terrageddon, that does not have Sphere of Resistance. Maybe we'd prefer that. Standstill.
It seems like kind of a desperate move.
Yes.
Like he just recognizes that, you know, this Wayfarer is probably gonna go off, and the standstill kind of slows down the game at least.
I mean, he's probably hoping that like Dawid will like mess up somehow, that maybe he like doesn't. Yeah, but I mean,
Like, you can just
how can you even mess up?
you can just search for like 2 or 3 mana lands now. Just don't play them, so that allows you to like search for lands the following turns, and then you can just start playing the mana lands, right?
Yes, I agree. I kind of like not even playing a land,
Right, that's what I said.
or maybe just getting like yeah, yeah. But he's going for that's like fine.
Playing
You
a
can
land is
respect
also
that.
fine, but
Because like Fabian, at the end of the day, he will have to play lands, because if he doesn't play lands, he will be discarding end of turn. Because I don't see a world where Dawid wants to play anything.
I just think that if you get to activate a Wayfarer like 1 more or 2 more times, you're just not gonna lose. And by playing the land, like this exact thing happens, and it's not as good for you. So
Incredible.
I think I would just not play the land.
Yes, but who's more like okay? So now he can
That's
play
pretty
a land.
good. Yeah, as you said, the standstill is kind of a liability for Fabian.
But I think, yeah, but honestly, I think Dawid could again get more from this.
Right.
Like he didn't have to get that Rishadan port and everything. I think Fabian, I guess what Fabian is thinking about is I'll get to 5 mana, I'll play Perlex Tide and destroy all his lands. Even if he draws 3, I will like destroy like 5 of his lands. And even he's going to search, he will slowly get back, and I will have a huge like mana advantage. Okay, so yeah, he's going for it. He's like not afraid. There's a big advantage for Dawid. And the Wayfarer is like, yeah, as you said it, the best card in this matchup is kind of incredible. I always knew it's in him, but it's great to see it.
What do you mean by what?
Well,
I always knew it's in him.
yes, in the Wayfarer. I don't think it's a girl.
I'm not gonna comment on that.
No, it's not. It's not a girl. But it could be.
Thomas, just stop.
Okay, it's been a long day.
You.
Sorry?
What round is this? This is a semifinals.
Okay. So we get a technical director and the final decision of the local court. We cannot tell if it's a girl or a boy. Okay, but now
You mean we can tell, like, we don't know, or it's like forbidden to say that? Like, I'm not
well,
sure
we
how-
don't know. No,
I'm
the
not-
official decision.
I'm not
is
sure
that
how you
we
meant
don't
that.
know.
Okay,
Okay,
sure. Let's just change the topic.
Yes, I don't. Yeah, yeah. it's difficult. I feel sorry for Fabian, but I don't think he's like he was ever in this game, right? Like, it was just enough that Dawid did what he did turn one, and that was it. It seems that these strategies, they've been quite dominant. You know, like green, white, like whatever, land destruction, maybe with old, without old. But generally, it seems very, very good. Like, it's winning, it has won, it won quite a lot of tournaments. And it's even dominating here. I'm not really sure. What was the result of the other semi-final? But yes, it would be interesting to see the final, if the final is like 2 Terrageddons. I'm sure we want to see it. But if I'm playing Terrageddon versus Terrageddon, I would like to be the one who has Weather Wayfarer. For some reason.
Yeah, I don't know. Until now, anytime I saw Wayfarer in play, it was always gonna do nothing, or it was like fine. But this tournament really showed me that the card is extremely powerful.
And it even seems like, as we said it, like, and it probably could have been even a little bit stronger in this game, but still so strong.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, this is like a really good matchup for it. It's not gonna be as good against like, I don't know, Burn or whatever. But
that's another trick with Wayfarer, that you can like get better quality of a land, but return something in your hand.
The fact that it works with fetch land is the most broken thing about it, I think.
So it's Chain of Vapor.
Bouncing a 1-mana creature.
So now, what I see here is that he's bouncing it, and then he will play Parallax Tide, and like hide all his lands and hope that he doesn't have like Disenchant or something like that. Oh, Standstill was still there. So yeah, I completely forgot about the Standstill. So that made end of turn Dawid drew like a bunch of cards, and he will be discarding now. Do we know the result of the other semifinals? We don't. So the other semifinals is 1-1. It's Burn against another Terrageddon. What do you think? Who's the favorite there?
Burn against Terrageddon. I would say Terrageddon, just because you have like a huge creature and swords and stuff, and probably a really good sideboard, like Circle of Protection, Red or whatever. But like, I don't know, I have no idea. The Burn deck is really strong, so.
Like in the sideboard, you have like 2 Zoran Orb, and that's probably about it. Against Burn, maybe like some kind of Seal of Cleansing or what. But of course, if you get like big Terrabor into play, you can sword it. Sounds good. But I feel like 8 land destruction spells against Burn. It sounds incredibly bad. Like you casting 3 mana spell to destroy one of his lands. Yeah, I'm not sure that that's the winning strategy. Not to mention, like, Price of Progress seems super strong. You only have 4 basics. So yeah, I would probably prefer the Burn side of things. So he does have it. He does have the Parallax Tide. But basically, if Dawid has Disenchant, it's over. He does have Disenchant. Okay, that's it. Oh, he did have Stifle. See? He still have it.
Alright, congrats to Dawid for advancing into the finals.
I think well played. It was also like Wayfarer was incredible.
Right.
You could identify what's important. I think great run for Fabian with his brew.
Yeah,
Let's say that like what Fabian is playing, that's not a normal deck. So I think incredible. He showed us how like you play with Chain of Vapor, because there was some quite incredible stuff. When he
Right,
showed
right.
us. So that's now for the semifinals. We'll take a short break and we'll be back in the finals. So
Stay tuned to
yes.
see who's gonna win this.